It seems to be where you kind of started having the more scary visions.
Yeah, I know. This is.
Could you see the people preparing for the feast?
Yeah.
And you saw them doing lots of things, right?
Yeah.
And you described it as a perfect community.
Yeah.
Do you want to describe it a little bit? You saw
everybody had a job to do, and there was perfect communication. It was a perfect working experience to get it done. Perfect harmony. It was just love and an experience of trust and faith in each other. was really very prevalent. You could just feel it everywhere.
And what were they preparing? Do you remember?
No.
I wrote it down.
I don't remember.
It says that over there, you described it, and she was talking like she was seeing that right there. She said they were preparing the bread, some were preparing the potatoes, the priest prepared the meat properly, drained the blood accordingly to how it must be done.
I told you that.
Yeah.
That they drained the blood.
And you let me know you fell back asleep again, and I woke you up again and asked if you were still seeing things, and you looked at me and said you were never alone. Someone was always with you, of course up to this point. Someone was always with you. You were seeing angels, and you described them being by your bed and in the room. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and in Ezekiel.
Elijah.
And Elijah was there, yeah. And he was just floating.
And do you remember asking him?
Well, I asked him why he was there, and he said, I'm just here just to check on you.
Do you remember asking him how he was floating in the air?
No.
He told you that it was his secret?
Yeah.
Kind of like a joke?
Yeah.
He wasn't going to tell you?
No. I was told many secrets, and I don't remember them now, but I was told I couldn't tell them to Lynette, whoever. I don't remember who was there, but she asked me about him, and she said I turned away like someone.
Yeah, like she was listening to somebody, and she tilted her head, and she looked back, and she just said that there's some things that I cannot tell you. And so I was a little careful to not pry my nose into such a place. I was already feeling like I was somewhere that I wasn't supposed to be yet.
She was treading upon the mountain without taking her shoes off, the way Moses did.
There you go.
And I remember I was taken to Egypt.
Do you remember the first time seeing Jesus?
Yeah.
And how did that happen?
Oh.
This was before the scary stuff, right? Before you went to the field? Or was it after?
I think I saw the scary stuff before I saw Jesus.
Okay. Did you just kind of appear at this field?
Yeah.
Do you want to describe that?
I don't remember too much about the field. I remember the room,
You described to me being at a field of blood, and there was a lot of people there trying to help you clean it up.
Yeah, there was blood everywhere, and I was I was dressed in a white. I don't know if you really call it a gown, but it was just a white tunic-like garment, and I had the rags, and I was down on my hands and knees, and we were all down on our hands and knees, and there were hundreds of people. It just went on forever. And we were all cleaning up the blood, and it never stopped. The blood was everywhere. And by the time I was, and I was just covered in it. And I didn't like it there. I didn't like it there at all. And then that's when the lady came.
And what did she look like?
She was a beautiful woman, and she was on this horse, and she was coming down. I could see her coming out of the clouds, but the closer she came, the more scared I got, because I had a feeling that I didn't want to get close to her, and I didn't want her to get close to me. And my feeling was that she was deaf, and she was coming into this field where everyone was cleaning up the blood.
What did she look like? Do you remember?
She had long hair, and it just blew in the air.
Was it a certain color?
It was blonde, almost white. Her horse was white. And she, I don't know, she looked safe to look at her. You would think that you could talk to her,
Mm-hmm.
but there was also a sense about her, that you wanted to stay away from her. And the horse had an ominous feeling about him, the way he would come down from the clouds and the way his eyes were. I remember his eyes were just black and had no life in them. They were just pure black.
And do you remember just kind of disappearing from that place?
Yeah.
And that was a room.
Yeah.
Where the blood was actually a big room, is how
Yeah.
you described it, with walls of blood.
Yeah, the blood was just keep oozing out of the walls. It never stopped.
And you were frightened. It was clear to me that you were frightened, what you were seeing at that moment. The horse frightened you, the woman frightened you, the room frightened you.
Yeah, you actually saw that expression on my face.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah, you were very frightened.